Hey Rogues! Happy Saturday. Welcome to the Rogues Gallery. I am Rogan, if you're new here. Today we are starting Ultima 4. I've been streaming for 7 months, and the first game that I played on stream was Ultima 1. And we have gone through 1, 2, and 3 so far. And so today we're going to start 4. Yeah, Organ Mike, I see you there. You're not missing this. Thank you for coming. I have not played 4 before. As a kid, the one that I played multiple times was 5. I'm not really familiar with 4. I did poke around a little bit, glanced at a couple of strategy guides, just trying to get a sense for the gameplay of it. 1, 2, and 3 I ended up needing a walkthrough to finish, mostly because they just kind of got to a point where they bogged down for me. So I can tell you 4 is very different. I don't know what I need to do stepwise or stuff like that. I didn't read that deeply. What I know, what I learned is, unlike the first 3, apparently I should not read the manual first. I should go ahead and start the game, and the game will tell me when it's time to look at the manual. So that is a change. And basically that I need to take better notes than I have been for the previous games, because otherwise it will get very frustrating. So those are the 2 things that I took away from glancing at the things: is start the game, then read the manual for this one, and it's much more story driven, and take very good notes. Write everything down. Yes, that is what I gained from looking at those. So that is going to be the plan. I do note that there have already been a couple of times where the stream has said unstable, so hopefully we're good. But if you've watched in the past, you know that my ISP does not always deliver me consistent upload speeds, and so sometimes things just stop working. So fingers crossed that that doesn't happen today, and that the instability was all just during the starting soon screen. Another thing with Ultima 4, I looked into whether there was a mod to add the music. And the mod that I found, the Ultima Upgrade mod, will not function on my computer. I tried installing it, it just didn't work. So I don't know currently of a way that I can get the music added. So we'll probably just have my my pretzel playlist in the background while we play. It is what it is. This game is from 1985, and the PC version didn't have music. So and then the PC version is the version that is on GOG. So the mod, as far as I can tell, the last time it was updated at all was in 2001. It will not work in the x86 environment. Apparently that mod makes other things a challenge too. I did see that there was a music only mod, but apparently that one was never finished and was ultimately added into the overall mod. And it didn't seem like this mod was like the Ultima 3 one, where you could turn things on and off individually. So just overall it didn't work, and I ended up just reverting back to the base install, and we'll just go without it, and that's fine. But yeah, and then at the end of stream, we will be raiding over to Q Times for the part 3 of the Alien RPG series that they've been doing, which is the whole reason why I'm in the morning instead of the afternoon. So this should be the last week of that, at least for now, unless something else comes up. And so next week I should be back to my afternoon time, which means I get to sleep a little bit longer on Saturday. But in honor of that, I am wearing my USS Sulaco Wayland Yutani t-shirt. So in honor of Alien, Sulaco was the ship from the movie Aliens. Anyway, I think I have everything set up. New game, we'll see. It's a DOSBox game. I did knowing that it was possible now, adjust it so that it's not so tiny on my screen. It'll probably be about the same size on your screen, but it's at least bigger for me. Let's see. I'm going to switch to the Ultima screen, and we'll go ahead and get started on what I, through my research, learned is not the hack and slash style of the first 3 games, but a much more story-driven experience. So I'm looking forward to this. And then after this one, when we finish Ultima 4, it'll be time for Ultima 5, and you'll all get to watch as I constantly say, oh, I had completely forgotten that. I remember this, because that is the one I played as a kid. So anyway, but first, we have to do Ultima 4. Let's see, and of course, the manuals just don't, it doesn't like to remember what it's supposed to capture for them. So 1 second. There. And for now, let's just go ahead and put the map. It's a cloth map again, that has been nicely digitized. But that's not what we're paying attention to. And actually, did I lose the music? I don't think I have. There we go. Oh, music super loud. Nope. Ah! Sorry, 1 second. It's not like I've been doing this for 7 months or anything. I just adjusted the wrong audio slider. Trying to turn the music down, and I was turning down desktop audio, which is not what I had intended to do. Okay, so here we are. Lord British and Origin Systems Incorporated present Ultima 4, Quest of the Avatar. In another world, in a time to come. So our options are return to the view, which I will do just to show you. Similar to the Ultima 3 opening screen, one of your catchphrases when streaming is a self-mocking, I'm a professional! Yeah. That sounds appropriate. I did glance at your stream yesterday, but you were doing Ultima 4, so I didn't stay long. Because I was about to start it today. So the graphics, are a big improvement over Ultima 3. 3 different kinds of water. And I'm not gonna... You were doing an Ultima 4. I don't know what that means. Does it, like, change where everything is? Okay. We can journey onward. We can initiate a new game. Apparently, the conversion was by James Van Artstallen. Copyright 1987, Lord British. I'm guessing that's conversion from the Apple II, which was the original release, to PC. I'm not sure, though. The whole world map was changed. All the locations of items were changed, certain important pieces. I guess that would make it, like, that would achieve as close as possible to a brand new play experience. You still know what you need to do, it's just everything is different, and how to achieve it would be different. So it would definitely give it some replayability. Okay, we're going to initiate a new game. By what name shalt thou be known in this world and time? We're gonna go with my video game name, Aeokon, that I use lots of things. And I'm gonna go with male. Pretty much a new experience. 8 hours to complete, and by the end your brain was a bit fried. So this opening scene, which I had this screen on my tweet, because I went this far in to get an image. This just makes me think of, like, Sierra games like King's Quest or Space Quest. I know this isn't what the actual gameplay is going to look like, but it definitely has that feel. Okay, the day is warm, yet there is a cooling breeze. The latest in a series of personal crises seems insurmountable. You are being pulled apart, all directions. Yet this afternoon, walk... Oh, jeez. Let me try that again. Yet this afternoon walk in the countryside slowly brings relaxation to your harried mind. The soil and strain of modern high-tech living begins to wash off in layers. That willow tree near the stream looks comfortable and inviting. The buzz of dragonflies and the whisper of the willow's swaying branches bring a deep. Searching inward for tranquility and happiness, you close your eye. A high-pitched cascading sound like crystal wind chimes impinges on your floating awareness. As you open your eyes, you see a shimmering blueness rise from the ground. Sound seems to be emanating from this glowing portal. It is difficult to look at the blueness. Light seems to bend and distort around it, while the sound waves become so intense they appear to become visible. Moongate. The portal hangs there for a moment, then, the rush of an imploding vacuum, it sinks into the ground. Something remains suspended in midair for the moment before falling to earth with a heavy thud. Somewhat shaken by this vision, you rise to your feet to investigate. A crude circle of stones surrounds the spot where the portal appeared. There is something glinting in grass. You pick up an amulet, shaped like a cross with a loop at the top. It is an Ankh, the sacred symbol of life and rebirth. But this could not have made the thud, so you look again and find a large book wrapped in thick cloth. Trembling hands, you unwrap the book. Behold, the cloth is a map. And within lies not one book, but two. The map is of a land strange to you, and the style speaks of ancient cartography. The script on the cover of the first book is arcane, but readable. The title is The History of Britannia, as told by Kyle the Younger. The other book is disturbing to look at. Its cover appears to be fashioned out of some sort of leathery hide, but from what creature is uncertain. The reddish-black skin radiates an intense aura suggestive of ancient power. The tongue of the title is beyond your ken. You dare not open the book and disturb whatever sleeps within. You decide to peruse the history. Settling back under the willow tree, you open the book. Should I open the book? You read the book of history. Okay, I take that to mean I should read the book of history now. So let's do. The History of Britannia, as told by Kyle the Younger. Whoops. I forgot I had it set to switch one page at a time. Chapter 1, Political History. The Dark Ages of Britannia is the name given to that long span of time when the infamous Triad of Evil stalked the lands and challenged all for supremacy of the soul. The first era of the Dark Ages came to an end with the downfall of the evil wizard Mondain and his many minions, as chronicled in Ultima 1. The lords of the lands were weak and scattered, and my gosh, I forgot to hit start on the captioner. I apologize. Captions should be on now. Got a little distracted as stream was starting because of all the instability issues that were happening. Sorry. I'll do better. Okay. Where was I? The lords of the land were weak and scattered, rendered ineffective by factional wars. It was only through the valiant efforts of an itinerant adventurer that the foul Mondaine was tracked to his lair and slain. But a few years of restless peace followed Mondaine's downfall. So long had the world shuddered beneath Mondaine's yoke that many found it hard to believe he had really been vanquished. In truth, his teachings did not disappear. Mondaine's apprentice Minax rose to power soon thereafter, to challenge the fledgling city-states that were beginning to evolve. The terrors had begun anew. Minax's powers upon maturity greatly exceeded those of her evil mentor. With these powers, she was able to rain wholesale destruction upon the planet, twisting and corrupting everything. Her foul web spread through time itself, ensnaring all who sought to oppose her. Finally, there arose a hero out of legend who dared face Minax in her own fiery castle and destroy her. Thus ended the second era of darkness, as told in Ultima 2. 20 years of well-earned tranquility ensued and prosperity favored the land. Then, disturbing omens, followed by the mysterious appearance of a fiery island. The tale of the third era of the Dark Ages is told by Iolo the Bard in Ultima 3, wherein Lord British, sovereign of an incipient empire in the land of Caesarea, called forth through time and space for heroes of the people to assemble. 4 diverse adventurers answered this clarion call. To them fell the gage of the doom of Exodus. Long they labored on the trail of the mysterious Exodus, though many a deep dungeon was through many a deep dungeon which seared their souls. To this day, each member of that team bears the marks of their journey. With the aid of the mystical Time Lord, they were successful in bypassing the great Earth Serpent and gaining access to Exodus's island fortress. The very bricks of the fortress rose up against them, and great is the bard's tale of their struggle to reach their mortal foe. Of the final confrontation, not one of them will speak, save to say that the evil is gone from this plane. So passed the third member of the Triad of Evil, and with this death, so passed the Dark Ages of Britannia. From the rubble of Caesarea, Lord British was able to unite all the mainland and a few of the islands under his one rule. This new empire of Britannia brought much sought-after peace and prosperity to its subject. Many of the ancient pockets of evil were destroyed, so that the only remaining hazard to wayfarers was the occasional stray band of marauding orcs or hill giants. Most of the lands were mapped, though a few unexplored regions still remain. With the Triad of Evil destroyed, Lord British became known for his dedication to raising the quality of life of his subjects. To assist in this endeavor, 3 mighty structures were raised in distant parts of the realm. One was the Lyceum, wherein lay the great observatory. Another was the Empath Abbey with its oak groves, where wise men and women meditated upon the teachings of the ancients. The third structure was the great castle of the Knights Order of the Silver Serpent. Only the flower of Lord British's chivalry was invited to join this order, which embodied the highest ideals and exemplary bravery. The rest of the land was divided among 8 major towns, each with its own political faction. Numerous satellite villages also dotted the countryside between the towns. In this manner were Lord British's lands organized. Chapter 2: Geography. The final destruction of Exodus rocked the known world. Mountains rose, land masses sank. Most of the surface area of the world became fused together into one large mass. It is over this major continent, now called Britannia, that Lord British rules. Some nearby islands also pay homage to him, while beyond these islands lurk uncharted shoals and rumored pockets of evil. Lord British's magnificent castle is situated in the center of the continent, overlooking Brittany Bay. This tall building is the greatest architectural structure of the New Age. Loyal subjects may pay homage to His Majesty and renew fealty whenever they are in the vicinity of this castle. Nearby lies the arts center of Britannia, the town of Britain, where bards weave tales of legendary deeds and serenade adventurers. To the north of the castle of Lord British lies the great mountain range known as the Serpent's Spine. The peaks of the range are the highest in all Britannia. During the summer months, a small, out-of-the-way pass allows knowledgeable travelers to save much time on their journeys. Beware of the one-eyed Cyclops and fierce two-headed Ettins that inhabit this range. In the summer, there's a pass. Okay. Northwest from the mountains begin the vast woods known as the Deep Forest. Many a traveler has become lost among these tall, majestic trees. If thy feet stray from the beaten path, do not despair, for within the woods lies the beautiful city of Yew, home of the mystic druids. The High Court of Yew judges all the important cases in Britannia and is famed far and wide for the wisdom and decisions rendered here. Nearby is the spiritual center of Britannia, the famous Empath Abbey. Within these hallowed walls, wise men and women study the ancient writings of past masters and meditate upon the great principles that govern the universe. A good meditation, focusing on a proper mantra, will sometimes yield valuable visions to those whose patience and powers of concentration are strong. The experience is well worth sampling. East of the Deep Forest lie the high steppes of Britannia, famous for beautiful horses. The only difficulties a traveler might encounter here are bands of thieving rogues and unfriendly wizards. The high steppes border an interior lake fabled for mysterious disturbances. Beyond the high steppes lies the famous battlefield, known as the Bloody Plains, where the last major forces of evil were vanquished. Alas, many of our brave men perished here in the fight for virtue. Be very careful when thou passeth through this region. It is whispered that in some phases of the moon, the undead rise and fight the battle again. Lost Hope Bay lies to the north of here, with the sturdy town of Minnoch perched on its shore. Minnoch is home to some of the finest craftsmen in the realm. The tinkers of Minnoch are known far and wide for their skill. A tired traveler will also find a refreshing place to rest at Wayfarer's Inn. The northeastern tip of Britannia is rather wild. The treacherous marshes with their noxious vapors that poison the unwary explorer are home to swarms of large insects and all manner of vile beasts. South of Lord British's castle can be found a large plain, mountains, and a dense forest. On the southern edge of the continent is the magnificent town of Trinsic, from which came Lord British's finest paladins. The tap in town has some of the best brew around, and the bartender is a great source of current gossip. Be sure to tip him well. The claws of the southern tip of Britannia embrace the Cape of Heroes. Slightly to the west lie the Valerian Isles. The walled town of Jalom provides Lord British with the best fighters and also has the largest inn of the realm, where the service is outstanding. The headquarters of the Order of the Silver Serpent is on an island south of the Cape of Heroes. This wooded fortress was given to the members of the Order by Lord British in recognition of their outstanding service. A visit to Serpent Castle will instill within the traveler a true feeling for the ways of chivalry. Off the western shore of Britannia is the island home of the doughty Ranger. Skara Brae is a beautiful city and spaciously laid out. For those suffering from rare diseases or grievous wounds, a mystical healer resides within those walls. The healer will aid the destitute as readily as the wealthy, expecting no payment save what the sufferer can afford. In the northeastern part of Britannia lies Verity Isle, famed as the home of the Lyceum. This pillar of higher learning constitutes the center for the sharpening of the finest minds in Britannia. The Lyceum's observatory provides Lord British with valuable information about the course of the heavens and provides a vantage point to watch the happenings within his realm. On the southern end of Verity is situated the fabled town of Moonglow. The Magi of Moonglow are constantly improving their skills, being tireless in the pursuit of greater knowledge of the mystic arts. Within Moonglow, however, can be obtained the finest in mystical reagents. These herbs will help those with magical skills prepare and cast their spells. This then is the known realm of Britannia. Several small villages also dot the landscape, but are not recorded in the charts of the realm. Some other islands of varying significance hug the shoreline, much of which is uninhabited and barren. The only islands the traveler should be cautious about when exploring are known as the Fens of the Dead. Disembodied wisps, ghosts, long-dead liches, and savage zorns have been reported here. Existing maps are by no means complete. There are said to be other unexplored isles, wherein all manner of monsters and evil beings reside, flame-breathing dragons, multi-headed hydras, horned devils, fiery lava lizards, and even dreaded balrogs are rumored to roam the distant shores. Somewhere, out beyond civilization, is also reputed to lie the ruins of the legendary town of Magincia, which the gods destroyed for the insufferable pride of those that dwelt there. All of the magnificent marble palaces and gardens were devastated, and the rich, haughty inhabitants reduced to haunting spirits. No one has ever confirmed this legend, so it may just be a fable to frighten the weak of heart and instill humility in those that overvalue their own worth. Sea travel along the coast of the main continent is reasonably safe, although a bold band of pirates has been raiding Britannia of late, terrorizing the populace. Beware, for the pirates take no prisoners. Further out to sea roam many mythical creatures. The unwary voyager will likely encounter giant squids, pixies, poisonous serpents, and mystical seahorses. The ever-present danger of whirlpools and waterspouts makes seafaring a hazardous experience at best. It is hoped that with the next edition of the History of Britannia, travelers will have brought back more information on these unexplored regions so that the map may be completely filled in. As a final caution for the would-be traveler, beware of the many dungeons and their dark subterranean passages. So some development, since 3. The geography has changed drastically, but some of the cities are still there. Reading that, seems like each town was given a specific thing that they do, and we'll probably need to pay attention to that in the future. Chapter 3. Fellowship. Under Lord British's rule, each of the 8 towns has developed into a cultural center for one of the 8 major professions. In this manner, an orderly society has evolved with little friction between the diverse inhabitants. No one is restricted to their town of birth, and one frequently finds people of various professions visiting a particular town. These are the 8 major professions. Mage. The Magi of Britannia gather in Moonglow, near the Lyceum, where they can study the ancient mystical scrolls of the library. The strictures of their profession permit Magi to wear only cloth armor and carry either a staff, dagger, or sling. Unconfirmed rumors indicate that the highest adepts have acquired the use of arcane magical weapons. The primary weapon of the mage, of course, is magic. As the mage becomes more advanced, more powerful spells can be woven. Some of the greatest spells have been known to literally shake the earth or raise the dead. Bard. The bards of Britain entertain the people with their wonderful ballads and tales of heroic deeds. Bards will not chronicle the deeds of valor. Bards not only chronicle the deeds of valor, but perform them as well. The weapon of choice for a bard is the sling, but they may use a crossbow at times. All armor save that of leather is shunned by these minstrels, for they find metal harsh and too noisy for their sensitive ears. The bard also dabbles in magic and makes a fine companion on a long journey. Fighter. From the town of Jalom hail the mighty fighters. They pass their lives in training and have the use of all weapons and armor, though most prefer the use of the double-edged Britannian sword, a devastating weapon in the hands of a skilled fencer. Fighters have little or no magical talents, for they believe only in the use of arms and fear that magical training saps the will and concentration of a true warrior. They possess a particular affinity for horses, and are most useful companions on travels to uncharted regions. Druids. The Druids are fierce fighters, especially when defending their beloved groves. They hold all trees to be sacred, and their town of Yew lies deep in the woods. Druids are also impressive practitioners of the mystic arts, and their knowledge of herbs is without peer. They may fight with different types of bows, although their preferred weapon is the mace. The Druidic philosophy forbids the wearing of metal of any kind, so leather is their armor of choice. The Druids' knowledge of the ways of the woodlands make them invaluable as fellow travelers. Tinker. The Tinkers of Minok are both highly skilled artisans and superb fighters. They are generally suspicious of magic, believing that only handcrafted artifacts possess true value, and thus use it seldomly. A tinker may use any weapon, however. The double-bladed war axe is preferred. Tinkers will use any non-magical armor. A traveling party with a tinker aboard need never fear for repair of any metal or wooden item. Paladin. These great fighters live in the town of Trinsic, in the southern part of Britannia. They are expert in all forms of combat and weapon use, and are one of the few professions that will make use of magical chain armor when it is available. Their deep beliefs in the value of good lend strength to their magic, which they wield with a certain flair. Paladins are thus very formidable opponents and highly valued allies. Ranger. Off the western shore of the mainland lies the fair island of the Rangers. Venturing far from their retreat at Scarabrai, they strive to improve the conditions of people throughout the realm. Rangers are well versed in woods lore, and fight fiercely with most weapons, but shun all but leather armor. They are also proficient magic users and faultless trackers in any wilderness. Shepherd. It is uncertain whether shepherds are skilled in any form of warfare or in the mystic arts. However, they are highly valued traveling companions for their humility and their knowledge of the ways of the land. So, no thieves, no rogues. A traveler in Britannia need not journey alone. In each town one may, indeed one ought to, converse with all the inhabitants. If thy personal philosophy of life is close to that of the town, then thou may ask one of the residents to join the party. If amenable to your invitation, this person will travel with thee, aid thee, and fight with thee. He or she will stay loyal to thee only as long as thou stay true to thy beliefs. If at any time through actions or deeds thou stray from the path, then thy companion will desert thee to thy fate. Remember, these are free companions, not servants or mercenaries. Such is their faith in thee as their leader, that all gold and supplies held by the party is given into thy care for the good of all. Use this trust wisely. Chapter 4, Mercantile. There's a thriving merchant class in Britannia. Each town and village has its own shops that specialize in local wares and services. The seasoned traveler will discover many delightful and useful items to purchase, as well as a wide variety of places to eat and sleep. The monetary system of Britannia is based on Lord British's heraldic charge. It is a gold coin with a silver serpent cast Vermeil upon the gold. Vermeil? I don't know that word. Interesting. It's a heraldry term, and I don't know those very well. The process is so difficult that the coin has never been successfully counterfeited or debased in value. This coin has been the foundation of the realm's stability and is universally accepted by merchants. Coins of the realm are also to be found in the chests that appear from time to time and are found below the surface in the dank dungeons. Beware, as most chests have diabolical traps in place to confound thieves. Here's a partial list of some of the more popular shops and their wares. Weapons shop. Here one may purchase the finest in weaponry that blacksmiths can forge. Depending on the skills of the local artisans, a shop might offer the following range of weapons: staff, dagger, sling, mace, ace, sword, bow, crossbow, flaming oil, halberd. Flaming oil? The weapon shops also offer liberal trade-ins on used equipment, although if thy axe is greatly notched from battle, do not expect much for it. Armory. Vermeil is a sort of gold plating. Okay, cool. Thanks, Mike. Fine armor may be purchased in the armories of Britannia. 'Tis just the item to keep highwaymen from slipping a dirk into thy ribs. The local armory may offer any of the following selection: cloth, leather, chain, plate. The armories will likewise offer trade-ins on used armor, although most would not consider them liberal. By the time most fighters get around to seeking improved armor, the old armor is almost completely falling apart, and its principal value is as scrap for the foundries. So, we have 10 possible weapons, which I believe might be slightly more. I think that's a couple more than Ultima 3, but our armor selection has gone down to 4, which is definitely less. The pub. The subjects of Lord British truly prize their pubs, and it shows in the gracious hospitality to be found in all public houses. Most offer an excellent array of drinks and food for the wayfarer. It is also commonly known that the bartenders are incurable gossips. If asked the right question and offered the right price, rare news may be obtained. Public drunkenness is prohibited throughout the lands of Britannia, so temper thy indulgence with wisdom. Grocery. Little is worse than being far from a town and finding thyself in one and one's companions starving to death because the person in charge of the expedition, has forgotten to buy enough food. Be sure to lay in a plentiful supply at each opportunity. Thy fellow travelers will most certainly be appreciative of thy foresight. Thus spaketh Google. The healer. Some towns contain these invaluable places of aid where one may go to be healed when suffering from grievous. Remember to heal thy companions also, for a healthy party ensures survival in the wild region. The healers are the only ones who may cure victims of the noxious venoms inflicted by the inhuman denizens of the land. Inn. Wait, the healers are the only ones? So, I don't have anyone who can do magic that will heal? That's not good. The numerous inns of Britannia provide the tired travelers with a comfortable night's sleep, which refreshes and revitalizes each character. The character of the inns throughout Britannia varies, as does the price. Okay, you do get cure poison spells. That's good to know. If I had to run to a healer every time I needed to get rid of poison, that would be frustrating. Herb shop. That one's new. Herb shop. Actually, the inn is new as well. We never stayed at inns. All practitioners of the mystic arts will search far and wide to locate these rare shops. Within them is to be found the components, or reagents as they are known to enchanters, or spell mixture. Without these mixtures, no spell may be cast successfully. Due to the rareness of some of the herbs, many are not offered for sale regularly, if at all. The known magical reagents are sulphurous ash, ginseng, garlic, spider silk, blood moss, black pearl, nightshade, and mandrake root. Care should be taken to mix the herbs in the correct proportions so as not to waste the valuable ingredients. Guild Shop. The Thieves' Guild has been essentially driven out of Britannia, but rumors persist of its existence somewhere in the ocean, perhaps on one of the uncharted islands. Somehow the guild maintains contact with the mainland, perhaps through the brazen pirates. The goods once offered by the guild were quite expensive, but invaluable to the traveler who sought to stray off the beaten path in search of novel experiences. These are the main shops in Britannia. A few other places exist that are worthy of note. Shrines. Here the devout of each town may meditate upon their path in life. Each shrine responds to the meditation of a different mantra. Consistency and concentration are the keys to meditation. Enlightenment is attained only through care. The Seer Hawkwind. Residing within Lord British's castle is the Royal Seer Hawkwind. Many aspire to tread the path, but very few find their way. Seek the advice of the seer as to thy progress upon the path. He can look into thy heart's heart and read thy progress or failure. Heed his advice, for feet that have strayed may be brought back upon the path. His advice for feet that have strayed may be brought back upon the path. Oh. Heed his advice for feet that have strayed. I don't know. That sentence is confusing to me. I think it means that if you listen to his advice, you can get back on the path. I think that's what it's saying, but anyway. We will learn as we go, I suppose. Chapter 5. Transportation. Throughout the centuries, most travel has been accomplished by the use of feet. While this method lends itself to scenic hikes, it is a terribly slow way to journey from one end of a huge continent to the other. Getting around Britannia, which may never be without risk, could soon become easier. Under the auspices of Lord British, studies of the properties of the moon gates are beginning to yield a clearer understanding of the gate's mystical workings. People forecast that future citizens will use these gates as a normal means of distant travel. The destinations of the gates appear to be rigidly bound to the phases of the twin moons Trammel and Felucia. The appearance and disappearance of the gates are definitely so. The location of the gates are represented on most maps of the realm as phases of the moons. The gate active is indicated by the phase of the moon Trammel. Once a gate is entered, thy destination is indicated by the phase of the moon Felucia. Okay. So, left moon tells me when that gate will open. Right moon tells me where it goes. I think that's what that's saying. Grass. The smoothest and easiest to travel on, the lush grass of Britannia serves to fatten its herds. One may pass here without any impediment. Left moon tells you which gate is open, right moon tells you where you end up. Great. That's much easier than in the past game. Brush. Low scrub growth and bushes will hinder thy progress, permitting thy party to move but at 3/4 of thy normal speed. Fine tinder for campfires may be found at the base of the larger shrubs. Forest. The going is slow through dense woods, with thy speed cut fully in half. The oak, so dearly loved by the druids, predominates here, along with healthy growths of ash and beech. There is quite a lack of visibility in the forest regions. Hills. Hilly terrain, much favored by those who raise sheep, will slow thee down considerably, so much so that none but the sure-footed mountain goat can move at more than a snail's pace. Marsh. The marshes and fens are particularly treacherous and should be avoided at all costs. While progress is only slowed to half one's normal pace by the muck underfoot, the marshes give off poisonous gases which can severely harm members of the party. Mountains. Mountaineering is not a well-known skill in Britannia, though the mountains are closed to the normal traveler. There is also a lack of visibility over the mountains. Horses may be obtained and greatly speed travel on land. The sages of the Lyceum are reputed to have been working on a lighter-than-air device for Lord British, but it was stolen some months ago and its whereabouts are not known. Since while traveling, thy party members' hit points may be diminished by unexpected confrontations every so often, thou should hole up for the night and camp. We get to camp. We can camp and heal? That's new! If thy rest is not interrupted by wandering creatures, then thy party will be greatly refreshed. That's new! We get to camp! We get to take a rest and heal up. I'm excited by that. At sea, masterful control of thy ship is necessary for survival. Ships have powerful cannons, but they can only fire broadside. To learn seamanship, thou must understand the ways of the water and the wind. The ocean is made up of 3 types of water. Large waves make deep water, small waves indicate shallow water, tight ripples show where lie shoals, too shallow for ships to pass over. Remember that a change in wave size signals approaching land. This will aid thy navigation. The winds of Britannia blow very constant in a given direction, then shift to a new direction for another long period. This fact allows the skipper of a ship to sail strategically. If the ship is facing into the direction of the wind, such as sailing east against an east wind, then the ship's progress is at its slowest, 1/4 speed. If the ship is sailing with the wind, as in sailing west with an east wind behind thee, then the ship's speed is faster, 3/4 speed. It is only when one tacks across the wind that the ship reaches maximum speed, such as sailing north or south against an east wind. Full speed. Hey, I like that. Even if I'm going against the wind, I can still move. Unlike in Ultima 3, where if you needed to go against the wind, you had to wait for the wind to shift. Strive to maneuver thy ship so as to bring either the port or starboard batteries to bear before creatures or pirates can close. Ocean travel is frustratingly slow all the same. Oh dear. Strive to maneuver thy ship so as to bring either the port or starboard batteries to bear before creatures or pirates can close and try to board. Thy ship has armor, which, if reduced to 0, will cause it to sink, and thy party shall perish. A captured pirate ship can be used in place of a badly damaged. Practice near shore until thou develop seafaring legs. The ship's cannons also serve for firing upon landbound creatures. Beware, some of the landbound creatures have the power of flight and can pursue thee over the waves. Chapter 6, Weapons and Armor of the Realm. Weaponry! Hands! If thou lose all thy weapons, this is what thou hast left. Although it is possible to kill some of the lesser monsters with thy bare hands, the odds of success truly are not very high. Staff, a 6-foot piece of carved ironwood that has been magically attuned. The staff sold in the weapons shop of Britain is more formidable than it seems. It is the favorite weapon of Magi. Dagger, 10 inches of beautifully worked steel, make the standard Britannian dagger. The traditional basket hilt looks very functional. A favorite weapon of novices. Sling. The common sling is fashioned from 24 inches of cloth, folded in half with a leather cup. The projectiles, small rocks, are easily collected, making this an inexpensive missile weapon, a perennial favorite with travelers down on their luck. Mace. Upon the 1.5-inch thick oaken stem of the Britannian mace rests a globe of iron studded with knobs. The impact of this weapon has been known to shatter the skulls of enemies outright, a favorite among the Druids. Axe. With a double-sided 2-foot blade, a warrior wielding a battle axe can really wage war. The axe is a favorite among tinkers, as many of them are workers of wood and metal. Sword. Ah, a true fighter's weapon. 4 feet of wicked blue steel will strike fear into the heart of any opponent. The sword is an automatic favorite among fighters. Bow, a truly competent long-range weapon. Get thy enemies before they can get thee. The Britannian bows are made from the finest yew wood. Each longbow is hand-rubbed and ornamented with horn knocks on the tips, a favorite among those with poor armor. Crossbow. Now here is a real missile. The impact of the crossbow will stop a rampaging troll. The crossbow is traditionally made of mahogany with carved maple veneer on the sides depicting Lord British's device, the Silver Serpent. A favorite among bards for the singing of the crossbow's string. Flame oil. The use of flasks of flame oil constitutes an innovation in Britannia. Any of the 8 great professions can use it. The wielder casts the ignited oil in a chosen direction, creating a corridor of flaming oil which lasts several minutes. Any enemy entering the field of flaming oil suffers burn damage for each turn passed in the inferno. A favorite weapon among those badly hurt and in need of rescue, a last-ditch defense. Halberd. 7 feet of stout wood topped with a blade of deadly steel. The halberd requires excellent coordination to be used effectively. It is the most deadly of weapons in the hands of an expert who uses it to strike over the heads of his fellows, a favorite among paladins. Several magical weapons are said to be found thither and yon, but the location of these are not known for certain. It is said that perchance a traveler must be worthy of such a weapon before it will become available. Armor. Skin. What thou art left wearing when thou hast no armor at all. Cloth. Peasant's garb for those who can afford nothing better, or those restricted by the vows of their profession from wearing aught else. A reluctant favorite among magi. Leather. The workhorse of novice travelers, leather armor is found throughout Britannia. Many of the professions are restricted to leather as their best choice, a favorite among bards, druids, and rangers. Chain. Used by those who can handle the weight of chainmail while fighting, this armor offers excellent protection. Only the finest steel is used with double thickness on the shoulders. All links are individually riveted for strength, a favorite among fighters and tinkers. Plate. The aristocrat of the armorer's craft. Plate affords more protection than any other conventional armor. Each suit is tailor-made to thy shape. The cost is naturally sizable, but the effect is inspiring, a favorite among paladins. As is the case with weaponry, rumors abound of magical armor that will withstand the breath of a dragon. But who knows? Perhaps these are but rumors spread by orcs to lure fighters into illusory searches resulting in death. Oh yeah, there's definitely magic armor that withstands dragon breath. It wouldn't be in here otherwise. Chapter 7, Magical Arts. Most of us understand only those things that we can see and feel. Yet there is a segment of the population that can see the unseeable and can feel that which has no substance. The perception and use of these ethereal forces is called magic. To some, it is an art. To others, a science. It is difficult for this historian to describe the art with which he is totally unfamiliar. He can, however, comment upon what purports to be the science. The basis of all spellcasting is the proper mixing of the necessary reagents. Reagents are the physical materials which are said to provide the initial energy to begin the spell. Each spell uses a different reagent formula. These formulas are jealously guarded by magic users, for quite often the difference between life and death is knowing a spell that thy opponent knows not. From the bill of fare at the herb shops, the observer can glean the names of the reagents: sulphurous ash, ginseng, garlic, spider silk, blood moss, and black pearl. Furthermore, there are reputed to be 2 others more powerful still than those just listed. However, they are not for sale according to the proprietors of the herb shops. They are nightshade and mandrake root. Only certain classes of the 8 major professions have any talent for magic. Some are quite strongly endowed, such as the magi and druids, while the paladins, bards, tinkers, and rangers have but a little power. Fighters and shepherds have no magical ability at all. In fact, magi are so tuned to the special energy that comprises magic that when they cast a spell, a blue aura glows around their head and shoulders. While most spells are reputed to possess either offensive or defensive abilities, some are utilitarian in nature, such as light, open, and view spells. The rare Aeromancer can harness the power of the wind. An ancient scroll on display in the library at the Lyceum tells of different types of energy fields created by means magical. It lists the following fields and discusses their properties. Sleep, a green field that may bring sleep to anyone who passes through it. Lightning, a blue field that serves as an impenetrable barrier, which inflicts damage upon any who touch it. Flame, an orange field that imparts massive damage upon those foolish enough to try to cross it. Poison, a violet field of noxious vapors that poisons anyone passing through who is not quick to hold their breath. Whether these fields may be controlled by magic is uncertain. However, the scroll was concerned with the tale of a wizard's battle. One can only ponder whether the writer survived the encounter. In this game, sleep is purple and poison is green. So they've reversed them. Lovely. And then we get a bestiary. This game has bats. A non-evil subterranean dweller found in the deepest caverns. A principal diet of the bat is animal blood. They are quite large and may attack any who disturb their rest. Cyclops, these evil giants can hurl half-ton boulders down from the heights. Even a grazing hit will do considerable damage to a member of thy party. The serpent's spine is said to be the best hunting range for them. Dragon. The dragon is an evil flying serpent which can cross water and blast ships with huge fireball. Not many ships can withstand a couple of passes by an attacking dragon. Etten. These evil, two-headed aberrations of nature can cast huge boulders down upon thy party, causing immense damage. It is best to try to kill them with long-range weapons and spells. A large clan of Ettins is said to live along the serpent's spine. Gazer. These hypnotic creatures snare their prey by putting them to sleep. The deep forests are the favorite habitat of these evil floating eyes. Every single one of these is telling me whether they're evil or not. Ghost. The restless spirits of those trapped between planes. Ghosts can pass through walls, so use extreme caution when they are thought to be nearby. Evil ghosts are often found in ruins, battlefields, and crypts. Gremlin. These hungry denizens of the underworld love to sneak up to unwary travelers and steal all their food. Do not let an evil gremlin get next to thee. Headless. Another evil being best suited to terror and destruction, the Headless is indeed a creature of nightmares. Many a traveler has fled in abject horror at the sight of these headless torsos bearing down upon them. Hydra. Beware the evil breath of the multi-headed Hydra. The massive fireballs can fry most members of thy party. Insects. If thou dost stay clear of these non-evil vermin, they will not bother thee. Martian dungeons are their favorite locales. Insects can fly, so they can chase thee over water. Lich. The undead shade of a powerful wizard can still cast very powerful magic spells. The Lich is a most dangerous opponent under even favorable conditions. Lava Lizard! These reptilian creatures love fire and dwell in infernos. In combat, they have been known to spit flaming lava 30 feet, so beware these evil beasts. The Lava Lizard is a Tyrannosaurus Rex that shoots fire? That's what's illustrated, a T-Rex that shoots fire out of its mouth. Nice. Mimic. Basically Godzilla true. One of the most treacherous, evil creatures in all of Britannia, the Mimic can assume any shape, although they seem to prefer assuming the likeness of treasure chests. Upon spotting one, the careless traveler greedily rushes toward the chest. When the traveler gets close enough, the Mimic casts out a poisonous venom. When the traveler succumbs to the poison, the Mimic feasts upon him. The only known way to detect a chest mimic is to wait until it gets curious enough to peer out at thee by lifting the lid of the chest. Nixie, these aquatic first cousins of the ancient race of elves, rise from the depths to strike terror into the hearts of seafarers. The evil Nixies wield sharp tridents which can be hurled against a ship's crew from afar, causing great damage. Orc, would that every orc had been destroyed with the fall of the Triad of Evil. They bred like rabbits and still infest the woods and hills, though in much smaller numbers than before. Phantom. These tragic souls have been captured by evil and forced to reenact their battles throughout all time. They are bodiless, but can be detected because their swords and shields remain visible. Phantoms are tough opponents, as dying is meaningless to them. Pirates. Truly the dregs of Britannia, most of these crews have death warrants hanging over their heads. Remember that the evil pirates take no prisoners. Their ships are equipped with heavy cannons, and the crews are well trained to quickly move their large galleons into battle position. It is a rare skipper indeed that can survive a broadside duel with a pirate vessel. Thy best hope is to dot the T, or to close with thy enemy. If thou art able to defeat the crew, the ship itself becomes thy prize. For castaways on remote islands, this is the only hope for salvation. Python. The venom of Britannian python is highly poisonous. These non-evil constrictors can spit their foul venom in a full 11 paces and should be treated with the utmost respect. Rat. The common giant rat, while not evil by nature, will still enter human camps in search of food. They pose a threat to any dungeon explorers foolish enough to startle them. Reaper. These grim creatures stand upright on trunk-like bodies and wave many tentacles at their prey. The evil Reaper can also reputedly cast different energy fields and thus is considered a most vicious opponent. Okay, that one's new. Rogue. Well, now we found the rogue. Apparently they can't be in our party, they're just gonna attack us. The rogues that are to be found throughout the land are often escaped prisoners who now make their livelihood as highwaymen by attacking travelers. If they get next to thee, they may pick thy pocket. Interesting. All of the entries have said whether the thing was evil or not, but the rogue entry does not say either way. Seahorse. These magical creatures appear quite fair and are not evil, but if offended, they make devastating enemies. They are possessed of powerful magical abilities, which can wreak havoc among thy party. Serpent. The sea serpent is an aquatic relative of the dragon. The fireball cast by the serpent can sink a ship long before it has a chance to close with the beast. The best defense against a sea serpent is to engage it in close combat as quickly as possible. It is thy only chance, albeit a slim one, to survive the encounter. Skeleton. Animated bone. Skeletons are the undead incarnations of a variety of creatures. These tools of evil strike fear into ordinary travelers. With the proper enchantment, however, they can be dispelled. Slime. Dungeon walls fairly ooze with slime. Most slime just sits there. This evil variety comes after thee. Spider. Beware of inadvertently wrecking a spider's web, and this non-evil creature will probably leave thee in peace. If thou suffer the misfortune of crossing one, take care to avoid the venomous spittle. Squid. When the tentacles of the giant squid close around a man or a ship, the very power of lightning is released upon the prey. 'Tis best to try to destroy the evil squid with cannon fire before it can engage thee at close quarters. Troll. These large and evil creatures can hurl axes, of which they carry a plentiful supply, with frightening accuracy. Beware their tricks. Trolls are usually found in hills and mountains. Wisp. More insubstantial than most evil creatures, wisps can actually teleport around the battlefield and attack from anywhere. It is most disconcerting to be involved in an encounter that contains a wisp. Wizard. Not all magic users follow the path of good. These evil, renegade wizards make very dangerous adversaries when crossed. Zorn. Zorns are the antithesis of everything. They pass right through walls and obstacles and negate all nearby magic. If an evil Zorn closes with thee, thou probably will not escape its embrace. It's a head with the mouth on top and legs coming out where the mouth would normally be? That thing's weird. Lords of the Evil Dominion. Balron. It is believed by some that all of these marshals of evil were destroyed when the Triad fell. If they do exist, it would be better for one to quit life itself than to face the fury of a Balron. The ancient scrolls describe them as flying creatures, which cast devastating fireballs as well as weave massive enchantments that once felled entire armies. Devil. These flying lieutenants of evil may sweep offshore and chase thee across the waves. They are powerful magic users and should be avoided at all costs. Devils are particularly fond of torturing their victims when the opportunity arises. Chapter 9, The Skills of Combat. The historian is a man of intellectual pursuits and therefore little acquainted with the ways of combat. For the following information on such skills, we are deeply indebted to the Master-at-Arms of the Order of the Silver Serpent. Before fighting, be certain that thou art properly equipped for the ensuing fray. Dost thou have the proper weapon and armor? If not, then thou must equip thyself anew. When thou commence to ready a weapon or wear some armor, thou wilt be offered a selection of such items as are available in thy party's common pool. If thou dost choose an item inappropriate for thy class, thou wilt be asked to select again. Initiating combat. When thou art next to an enemy, thou may attack in the direction of thy foe. Thou wilt then be able to view thy combat location, and battle shall ensue. Being attacked. If thou dost not attack a creature, then assuredly the creature will attack thee at its earliest opportunity, assuming that the creature is evil or hungry. How to fight. Each fighter and magic user will have an opportunity for separate action. Thou may only attack in the main cardinal directions, north, east, south, and west. When it is a fighter's turn, those with hand weapons may attack an adjacent area by specifying the direction. Those with missile weapons may fire them across the battlefield by denoting the direction of fire. Magic users can cast a spell when it is their turn. Again, only spells for which reagents have been prepared will function. The spell must be selected and the direction fixed. Most combat spells are functional across the field of battle. Energy fields, however, can only be cast in areas adjacent to the caster. So you have to prepare your stuff in advance. Can't do it while you're in battle. What I'm seeing. Victory! When all of the monsters have been destroyed, thou wilt return to the surrounding countryside. If the monsters were carrying any treasure, this will now be available to thee. Care should be used in opening any treasure chests, as they are frequently trapped. Fleeing. That's new. We couldn't flee before. There will come times in thy quests when thou wilt be confronted with superior forces. Whenever one of thy team is near death, guide him or her off the combat field to save them. If the tactical situation deteriorates completely, removing all members of the party from the field will disengage thee from thy enemy. There are those who will call thy actions cowardly, but a wise leader will know the value of preserving the life of one's fellows. Terrain considerations. Devote considerable time to the study of the fields of combat. Locate defensible positions for thy party, making sure to maintain an avenue of escape should the battle go badly. Remember our heritage. A few valiant fighters strategically placed in a narrow rocky pass can stand off an army numbered in the thousands. Weapon consideration. There are 3 distinct classes of weapon available to the warrior. They are missile weapons, which permit the striking of foes at a distance, pole arms, which allow one to smite over an obstacle or companion, and hand-to-hand weapons, which necessitate engaging one's enemies at very close quarters. Ethics of war. Do not feel that it is thy birthright to slay everything that walks, flies, or swims. The Code of Chivalry states that before engaging in combat with a foe, the warrior should ask, "Is this foe truly evil? If it is not, then thou must not kill it, but stand thy ground and force it to retreat. The code is thy touchstone, for without it thou art but a speck of dust in the whirlwind of chaos." Okay, so I can run away, but now I'm also not supposed to kill everything. That will be an adjustment. Modern civilization and our universe. We have just emerged from the darkest period in recorded history with the vanquishing of the Triad of Evil. Oh, enemies can run away too. That is good to know. We need no longer anxiously watch our backs for fear that evil will fall upon us in the first unguarded moment. The stability achieved by the new age seems to herald a golden age of peace and prosperity. What kind of people will inherit this new age? Surely our destiny is not to perpetually fight as warring tribes throughout all time. Is there not a higher calling? One worthy of our efforts and capabilities? If one accepts that the next area of human growth should not be fostered through aggressive territorial expansion, then a possible answer emerges. We must turn inward. Of late, a small group of inquisitive philosophers at the Lyceum have been asking such questions of each other. While their musings seem quite radical and new, they are worthy of consideration. Is living a life of virtue an essential element of civilization, or can society survive the test of time without such principles? How might we ensure the long-term continuation of our newfound peace? What systems of laws and ethics will ensue? What systems of laws and ethics will ensure the continued happiness of all our people? Why doth evil still stalk the world, and can it ever truly be vanquished? If the public set of ethics, which evolved from the days of primordial survival, is impure, how can we achieve a clean foundation upon which to build a life of virtue? Given the premise that to understand purity one must strive to be so, how does one strive for that which cannot be understood? If our true purpose here is to achieve a balance with our surroundings, as is suggested in the ancient scrolls of the library, how can we face nature without first facing ourselves? Meditation seems to hold the key to perspective. In the transcendental state, one is freed from the shackles of modern living. The whole of the universe resonates with thee, and thou dost feel for once as if thou dost belong to a greater whole. Yet all too soon the meditation ends, and thou dost return from this brief glimpse of the sublime to the daily need for survival. It is time for all to put aside their warlike ways and begin fighting the evil that lurks within themselves. It is far too easy to sit and espouse the path of virtue, yet never set foot upon it. Ancient rule of treating others as thou wouldst be treated thyself takes on new meaning when put in the context of universal harmony. We must become living examples of our beliefs. How does one begin to first walk along this new way? Do road markers exist if we but open our eyes to see them? To be at peace in all areas is a state only achieved by an avatar. Is such a state attainable by any human, fallible as we all are? The true answer can only be found by those who quest forth in search of it, or who can see the end of the path before beginning the journey. Yet it is also written that for each person the path is different. Perhaps the seeker of wisdom and enlightenment should begin by visiting Lord British, for his knowledge of the ways of the land is great. Conversing with him may help one determine where lie the centers of the 8 virtues of the Avatar. Many philosophers hold the opinion that the path is in reality but a series of separate small paths. Each minor path leads to the fulfillment of an aspect of ourselves. Treading one of these minor paths may be construed as a life's goal, and many people have debated which is the most advantageous to follow. Yet is not the whole much greater than the sum of its parts? Take up the challenge, and tread not but one, but all of the minor paths in thy search for enlightenment and perfection. Perhaps only then wilt thou find the beginnings of the great path. The quest of the Avatar awaits. It is not thy heritage that thou dost seek, 'tis thy destiny. Hannah, thank you for redeeming a hydrate. Welcome in. How are you today? Afterward. There's an afterward. As an addendum to this work, I, Lord British, would like to speak of the quest of the Avatar mentioned in these pages. It is a lot of reading, Hannah. That is true. The quest of the Avatar is the search for a new standard, a new vision of life for which our people may strive. We seek the person who can become a shining example for our nation and guide us from the age of darkness into the age of light. We have sent this message out to the farthest reaches of the unknown universe. Of the known universe. Indeed, we have even spoken across the void of time. Is there one who can complete the quest of the Avatar? Many have tried already and have met with partial success, becoming enlightened in one or more of the 8 virtues of the Avatar, but none have yet attained the true state of being an Avatar. The secrets of the Avatar are buried deep in the hearts of both our people and the land in which we dwell. The search will be arduous, and the one who shall succeed must be able to assemble all the parts of the great mystery in order to solve the quest. Gaze upon the device portrayed on the facing page of this tome. Learn it well, for when thou dost gaze upon it again, then shall thy life's quest be revealed. We have a circle with triangle and more circles. Okay, it's a thing. Oh, Hannah, I'm so sorry. Not being able to smell or taste would be very disconcerting. Unless you are one of my college roommates who had no sense of smell. But not being able to taste would be very disconcerting. That is true. I don't know exactly how long those symptoms linger. I know Lucas Eubank talked about how his sense of taste was really diminished for quite a while after. Hopefully, I still hope that that you get through it quickly, and that you I hope that your smell and taste come back fairly quickly. Yours was only a couple days, Mike. That's good. Hopefully it's like that for you too. Because yeah, Lucas was saying it had been like 3 or 4 months, and his sense of taste was diminished. I think he got COVID back in like March of 2020 or something. He got it pretty early on. Back cover. I, Lord British, would like to thank Roe R. Adams III for his invaluable collaboration on the plots of the great quests and for his writing contained within this manuscript. Further thanks go out to Dave Albert for his writings contained within the Book of Wisdom and his editing of these works, Dennis R. Lubay for the magnificent illustrations within the text, Patricia Hunter and Marcia Muse for their graphics works found in the game, Chuck Buki and Steve Muse for their programming aid When I needed it so desperately, Kenneth W. Arnold for his masterful music on these versions in which it is contained. I wish I had the music, but it's not in this version. And I don't have a mod to add it. Bob McMillan, Brendan McSheffrey, John McSheffrey, Jeff Hillhouse, Donna Gagney, Julie Rapolt, Richard Garriott, and Robert Garriott for their time and insights during playtest. Origin System Incorporated, 1985. Well, we have read the entire history of Britannia now. So I guess it's back to the game itself. Kenneth Arnold's musical inspiration for you? Seems to vary from person to person. Your dad is starting to get some taste back. Your sister and brother-in-law were a couple weeks. Others are still having issues months later. Yeah. I hope that it comes back quickly for you. And that you get better soon. Okay. I'm gonna switch back to the game screen. So... the parenthetical, you read the book of history, took a little time to do in reality. But we have now done that. No, really! Read the book of history! I love it! Oh my gosh, I love it! I had to print screen that one. That's awesome. Closing the book, you again pick up the Ankh. As you hold it, you begin to hear a hauntingly familiar lute-like sound wafting over a nearby hill. Still clutching the strange artifacts, you rise unbidden and climb the slope. In the valley below, you see what appears to be a fair. Other than the taste smell thing, you're doing pretty good. That's good. You're going back to work on Monday. Well, you're self-employed, so... Aren't you? I think you are. It's good that you have the energy, that you feel like you're feeling better enough to be able to do that. Right, my forehead is... In the valley below, you see what appears to be a fair. It seems strange that you came that way earlier and noticed nothing. As you mull this over, your feet carry you down toward the site. This is no ordinary traveling fair, but a Renaissance fair! The pennants on the tent tops blow briskly in the late afternoon breeze. The ticket taker at the Ren Fair's gate starts to ask you for money, but upon spotting your Ankh says, "Welcome, friend. Enter in peace and find your path." The music continues to pull you forward amongst the merchants and vendors. Glimpses of fabulous treasures can be seen in some of the shadowy booths. These people are very happy. I mean, they're at a Ren Fair, so yeah, they're very happy. They seem to glow with an inner light. Some look up as you pass and smile, but you cannot stop. The music compels you to move onward through the crowd. Through the gathering dusk, you see a secluded wagon sitting off in the woods. The music seems to emanate from the wagon. As you draw near, a woman's voice weaves into the music, saying, "You may approach, O seeker." You enter to find an old... See, I'm not going to say the word, because it is not a respectful term. It is a word that was used a lot in the 80s and 90s, and is in a lot of things that I really enjoy, but I'm just going to not say it. Okay. You enter to find an old person sitting in a small, curtained room. She wears an ankh around her neck. In front of her is a round table covered in deep green velvet. The room smells so heavily of incense that you feel dizzy. Seeing the ankh, the ancient woman smiles and warns you never to part with it. We have been waiting such a long time, but at last you have come. Sit here and I shall read the path of your future. Upon the table she places a curious wooden object, like an abacus but without beads. In her hand she holds 8 unusual cards. Let us begin the casting. The woman places the first 2 cards upon the table. They are the cards of honor and spirituality. She says, consider this. In thy youth thou pledged to marry thy sweetheart. Now thou art on a sacred quest in distant lands. Thy sweetheart asks thee to keep thy vow. Dost thou honor thy pledge to wed, or follow thy spiritual crusade? Okay. Well, I'm going to go with honor. The gypsy places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of honesty and compassion. She says, consider this. Entrusted. Sorry, I'm distracted by the honesty card because it looks like Bernadette Peters. I saw the image of the person and all I see is Bernadette Peters. Anyway. Entrusted to deliver an uncounted purse of gold, thou dost meet a poor beggar. You can never unsee it. Yes. Dost thou A, deliver the gold knowing the trust in thee was well placed, or B, show compassion, giving the beggar a coin knowing it won't be missed? This is actually a really hard one. I don't know who gave me the gold. I don't know what my relationship is to them. I don't know enough of the situation, like things that I would know in reality. I would know whether I have the authority to give a piece of gold to this beggar. Given this presentation, I don't know. And it sounds as though I don't have that authority, but it also sounds like it wouldn't be missed if I did. I'm gonna go with compassion. That was a hard one. The woman places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of justice and sacrifice. It says, consider this. During a pitched battle, thou dost see a fellow desert his post, endangering many. As he flees, he is set upon by several enemies. Dost thou A, justly let him fight alone, or B, risk sacrificing thine own life to aid him? I'm not going to leave him to himself. The woman places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of valor and humility. She says, consider this. Although a teacher of music, thou art a skillful wrestler. Thou hast been asked to fight in a local championship. Dost thou A, accept the invitation and valiantly fight to win, or B, humbly decline, knowing thou art sure to win? I mean, they invited me. I'm going to fight, and I'm not gonna not try to win. The gypsy places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of sacrifice and honor. She says, consider this. Yes, it's very clear they're supposed to be moral quandaries, and this feels somewhat similar to vague memories I have of the beginning of Ultima 5. But yeah, I mean, but it was a hard one. But yeah, anyway. Thou art a bounty hunter sworn to return an alleged murderer. After his capture, thou believed him to be an innocent. Dost thou sacrifice thy sizable bounty for thy belief, or honor thy oath to return him as thou hast promised? If you start with Ultima 5, it begins with basically this and then says, and all the stuff that happened in Ultima 4 happened. Yeah, and like, I don't remember a lot. I know I never played this game, and Ultima 5 was the one that we played as kids. It was my entry into Ultima, was Ultima 5. I don't remember if I ever played 6 or 7 or 8. I think I played part of 9. And I know I started Martian Dreams and never finished it. So the only one I'm absolutely certain that I played as a kid was 5. And I have fond memories of 5. So, I mean, I'm just supposed to return an alleged murderer. Even if I think that they're innocent, I need to bring them back so that they can be tried to determine if they are or not. So I'm going with honor. The woman places 2 more of the cards upon the table. They are the cards of compassion and valor. It says, consider this. Thou dost manage to disarm thy mortal enemy in a duel. He is at thy mercy. Dost thou show compassion by permitting him to yield, or slay him as expected of a valiant duelist? I'm going with compassion. The woman places the last 2 cards upon the table. They are the cards of compassion and honor. She says, consider this. Thou art sworn to uphold a lord who participates in the forbidden torture of prisoners. Each night their cries of pain reach thee. Dost thou, A, show compassion by reporting the deeds, or B, honor thy oath and ignore the deeds? There's no choice there. I'm turning him in. With the final choice, the incense swells up around you. The woman speaks as if from a great distance, her voice growing fainter with each word. So be it, thy path. There is a moment of intense, wrenching vertigo. As you open your eyes, a voice whispers within your mind, seek the counsel of thy sovereign. After a moment, the spinning subsides, and you open your eyes to the game screen. I'm a bard. Magic points 6, strength 21, dex 25, intelligence 17. I have a sling, I have cloth armor, I'm level 3. I have 300 hit points, 300 something. I have no idea what HM is. And 240 experience. 300 food, 200 gold. Okay. HM is hit point max. Okay, thank you. MP will go as high as 17. Or whatever your int is at the time. And it looks like we started right next to the castle. Enter Castle, Britannia! Let me pause for a second and pull up the map. So, looking at the map, bigger for you there. Everything is written in the alphabet. The clue book has stuff. Not going to read all of that because it's going to have spoilery things in it, but we'll glance at it in a second. We have the spell book. The book of Mystic Wisdom is what it says on the front. And then we have this reference card, which we've had reference cards for some of the previous ones. Gives your basic commands, which are fairly similar. It looks like we have attack, board, cast, all spells must have reagents mixed in advance of casting, descend to go down a ladder, enter, fire, get chest, hole up and camp. That one's new. This command may only be used successfully with limited frequency. Ignite a torch. For some reason we have half a page blank. Jimmy Lock. That's a new command. Climb. Locate position. Requires a special item. Mix reagents. That's new. New order. Exchanges the position of two players indicated so you can reorganize your party. Open door. Peer at gem, which is not new. Quit and save. Ready a weapon. Search. That is a new command. Talk. That used to be the transact command, but is essentially the same. See special note below. Use volume. Toggles sound effects on and off. Wear armor. Exit. Yell. Yell giddy up or whoa to speed up or slow down thy horse. And stats, which is the one that we're in. Talking with people found in the game is one of the most important features of Ultima 4 to master. It is almost impossible to solve the quests without talking to virtually all people in each town. Each person with whom thou dost talk is capable of a full conversation. They can be asked about their name, job, and health. I'm just gonna jot that down as a note. Actually, I'm gonna make a table. Name, job, health. Thou may look again at their visual description. From this information, thou shouldst be able to discern what else they might know, hinted at directly by use of the precise words in the conversation. For example, if thou were to ask Dupree about his job, and he were to respond, I am hunting gremlins, thou might think to ask him about hunting or gremlins, about either of which he might offer some insight. Okay. Each of these people might ask of thee a question as well. Be sure to answer the question honestly, for dishonesty will be remembered and not reflect well upon thee for the rest of the game. Often thou shalt not know what to ask a townsperson until thou hast been told by another. Exempli gratia, Iolo the Bard might tell thee to ask Shamino the Ranger about swords. Even if thou hadst met Shamino earlier, thou wouldst not have known to ask about swords, and thus thou wouldst have to seek him out again if thou dost wish that knowledge. Some of the people that thou shalt meet may be willing to become thy traveling companions. If thou dost wish for a character to become a player in thy party, thou must ask them to join thee. 'Tis most wise to strengthen thy party as rapidly as possible, up to the 7 companions thou shalt need to complete the game. When thou art through with a conversation, then speak the word bye as an accepted means of politely ending the conversation. Be sure to keep a journal of thy travels. Most of the clues to solving the quests of Ultima 4 are contained in the various and diverse conversations thou might have with the various townsfolk. If it would be next to impossible to solve this game without some means of referring back to prior conversations held during play. Be sure to thoroughly explore the cities and towns. Many of the quests within Ultima 4 are contained entirely within individual cities. It is wisest to spend a great deal of time seeking out the answers that lie hidden in each one of the various towns of Britannia before moving on to another. Note, during thy conversations with people in Ultima 4, thou may feel the impulse to show thy generosity to less fortunate fellows. Thou may do so by saying give. The party is seen here standing on a point of land that juts into the sea. To the north is a castle, while a ship rocks gently on the waves to the northwest. Just above the ship one can see a town. The party consists of 3 travelers, British, Iolo, and Joffrey, whose names appear in the party window. Their current status is also there and displayed. British has 372 hit points and is in good condition. Iolo has 380 hit points and is suffering from poison, and Joffrey has 380 and is in good condition. The narrow window below indicates that the party have 24 units of food and 1,823 gold pieces. Symbol in the center indicates if any spells aren't currently active. Paused to cross a bridge, thy party can see an approaching band of skeletons to the northeast. At the top of the view window, you can see the current status of the twin moons. Yeah. Trammel and Felucia, which is crescent waning for Trammel, and Felucia is in its last quarter. Okay. Grand. And we have the alphabet. On the back page here, we have the full alphabet given to us. So, map. Everything on the map is written in the Ultima alphabet. We are here, which is not labeled, but the name of the map is The Lands of Britannia. We have the Deep Forest, Lost River. I translated these last night. Serpent's Spine, Spirit Wood, Valorian Isle, the High Steps, Loch Lake, Brittany Bay, Fens of the Dead, Cape of... It reads Heres. I think it's supposed to be Cape of Heroes, but it's missing the O. Lost Hope Bay, Bloody Plains, the Isle of Deeds, Dagger Isle, and Verity Isle. So I have all of those translated. If I need to know where I'm going, I have that ready. Okay. We are ready to talk to the king. Eventually we will talk to other people, but we were instructed to seek out our sovereign. Which way? Actually, I have a map. I have a map of the interior that came with the game. Blue book. Go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm having fun reading all the things. Hail, seeker on the path of the Avatar. I, Lord British, welcome thee and salute thee for thy courage. Within these pages thou shalt find all manner of wisdom and information concerning the land of Britannia and the quest of the Avatar. Read on carefully, but hearken well to my words. The one who shall tread the path of the Avatar to full revelation is not only brave, but honest, and filled with compassion for all living things. Britannia needs one who can show how to fight the forces of evil found both outside of and within the individual. Our hopes and prayers are that thou might be the one. For thine edification, I have collected in these pages the writings and creations of the Lyceum's most illustrious cartographer, Mercator, as well as the reminiscences of the valiant warriors Iolo and Shamino, who have explored all of the known dungeons in the realm. Let their words help guide thy footsteps on thy most perilous quest. Lord British. Castles and towns. Hail, traveler, I, Mercator, will instruct thee in the geography of our fair land of Britannia. To begin with, there are but 15 human settlements and one ruin of particular note in our land. These consist of 4 castles, 11 towns, and 1 town that is not but ruins in these times. Let us begin with the seat of our government. Signed, Mercator. The Castle of Lord British. First floor. Second floor on the following page. Just looking at the map, it appears that I need to go left and then upstairs to get to the throne room? I'm uncertain. We'll have to explore. The Castle of Lord British, located near Brittany Bay in the very center of the continent, is the steading of our sovereign. Within its confines thou shalt find our Lord himself, as well as a variety of personages, all of who may have some words for thee if approached properly. Be sure to seek help from our sovereign should ye be in need. Note ye well also that the seer Hawkwind doth dwell within these confines, and that he shall aid thee in better understanding thine own personal development. A conversation with one Zoran may also prove fruitful whilst in this castle. Most important of all, speak with our liege lord, for he shall aid thee in understanding the full nature of the quest upon which thou dost now embark. Should thou or any of thy companions be in need of healing or provender, then you need seek no farther than the castle of Lord British, although such aid may be found elsewhere in our fair land. Grand. Alright, we're gonna find Lord British. It's gonna happen. I don't know which way we need to go, but it's gonna happen. Open. I don't have to have a key, I can just open the door? That's new. Climb? The graphics are so much nicer. And it's much more responsive. Like, there's no delay between if I hit the button 2 times, it moves twice and it responds really snappy. I'm liking it. I mean, I assume there are locked doors. And the map, the 3D map in the clue book led me directly to where Lord British was. Let's go ahead and talk to Lord British. Lord British rises and says, "At long last, Aeacon, thou hast come! We have waited such a long, long time." Lord British sits and says, "A new age is upon Britannia. Great evil lords are gone, but our people lack direction and purpose in their lives. A champion of virtue is called for. Thou may be this champion, but only time shall tell. I will aid thee any way that I can. How may I help thee? My first conversation. Did I ask him his name? We're gonna do it. He says, my name is Lord British, sovereign of all Britannia. Lord British. I wrote down the whole thing. Lord British, sovereign of all Britannia. So if I say job, he says, I rule Britannia and shall do my best to help thee. Doing this as a table on paper may not work. Oh. No! I didn't mean to do that! Talk. Health. I am well, thank thee. Nice! Yeah, this layout is not gonna work. I started doing it. But it's too much. I have to be able to write fully across the entire page. Lord British of all Britannia. Yeah, he's verbose. No, it's fine. I'm just gonna adjust a little bit here. All right. I rule Britannia and I don't know how important it is to write down what he says. Do my best to help thee. Woo, everything's shaking because I'm using an eraser. And health. I am well, thank thee. Alright, is there anything else? Oh, I can... Oh, he asks, art thou well? Yes. He says, that is good. Is look a separate command that happens outside the conversation? I'm gonna try. Nope. Look. Thou see the king with the royal scepter. Oh. With the royal scepter. Okay. We say goodbye. Fare thee well, my friend. Alright. Well, talk. You meet a fair maiden. She says, I am Juliet. Alrighty. Name. I am Juliet. Had to see if she would say something different. Job. I can help thee. Health. Fine, thanks. Look. You see a fair maiden. Help. Seek ye to know how the 8 virtues form into the 3 principles. Seek ye to... Wow. That is not how you spell the word to. Seek thee to know how the 8 virtues form into the 3 principles. Oh, whoops. Know ye this? Seek it. Your interest. Virtues. That I cannot help thee with. Principles. That I cannot help you with. Hi. No response. You meet a dancing jester. He says, I am Jester Twin. The bard is busy. Job. To entertain. Elf. Perfectly hoppy. So, before next week, I will end up converting all of this conversation notes into a spreadsheet that I can use because I type much faster than I handwrite. So I will probably do that instead. Hi, Elaki! Yeah, we are just starting Ultima 4. I've done a lot of reading today. Because we started the intro, and then we read the manual when it told us to. And I just got into the game and have spoken to Lord British and Juliet, and I'm talking to my third person now, which is Jester Twin. Who is apparently perfectly hoppy. With an exclamation point. But yeah, right now I'm handwriting all of this. I think I would do better with a spreadsheet. Actually, I could do that now. 1 second while I pull up a spreadsheet. I am a bard. I started right next to the castle. I am just from having glanced at a couple of strategy guides last night briefly. I do understand that the conversation with the tarot cards assigns you a class and decides where you start the game. And I ended up as a bard and started right next to the castle. Name, job, health. No. Ultima 4. Nope. Got it. I'm just making a quick spreadsheet right now because it seems like I'm going to be taking a lot of notes and handwriting them not as fast for me as typing them. So let me... You played this on your Atari 800 35 years ago, and it was the first time you ever took extensive notes while playing a game. Yeah. I don't normally take a lot of notes. This game, it's very clear that I'm going to need to. So, I'm gonna do it. Source. This one. One second while I adjust sizes of things. Quite so large. Your father had a 2-inch binder full of loose leaf pages of conversations and dungeon maps. That is dedication. Alright, we're just gonna stick this right here over top of where I have the manual and map and whatnot, and I can bring this up when we're in conversation and drop it down when we're not. Zoom in. Alright. Top row. Alright, so we met Lord British. Who said his name was Lord British, sovereign of all Britannia. Not sure how important it is to actually note that, but it doesn't hurt to wrapped. Wow, it's been a while since I used Excel. There we go. Rather, it's been a while since I used unnamed spreadsheet software. Since I am not... Since it was pre-internet and pre-guidebooks, completing the game was one of your proudest achievements. Nice. 3 games shaped your understanding of what was possible narratively and mechanically in video games. This, Star Control 2, and Mass Effect. So I'm playing Mass Effect on Sundays for the first time ever. I've never even heard of Star Control 2. I rule Britannia and shall do my best to help thee. Let's just go ahead and wrap text on everything. That seems like everything. Health. He said, I am well, thank thee. Now see the king with the royal scepter. Don't really have any additional notes to add for that at the moment, but I think that this will be helpful. Your dad also asked everyone about every keyword he found out too. There's a list of them at the front of the book. A bit of the brute force. Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad thing, just to see what they say. We have Juliet, and we have Jester Twin. Juliet said, I can help thee, when asked about her job. Health was fine, thanks. See a fair maiden. And then we asked about help. She said, seek ye to know how the 8 virtues form into the 3 principles. That column needs to be wider. And so for Jester Twin, job was to entertain. Health was perfectly hoppy. And that's as far as we've gone. If your memory serves you right, at least on the Atari version, if you press Control S, a 16-digit code shows up, and you were happy when you deciphered what the code meant and how to use it. Don't know how easy it is for you all to see the spreadsheet there, or like what's actually written on the spreadsheet. But all this looks like. Yeah, that's not too bad. I'll adjust it more for next week. I think this will be useful now. I have no idea what code you're referring to. On the PC version, you need to press Alt-Z first, then Control-S? Okay, I'm gonna finish talking to Jester 2 first. So he's perfectly hoppy. Look. You see a dancing jester. Entertain. That I cannot help thee with. Hoppy? Okay. Bye. Press Alt-Z. Bad command! Alt-Z does nothing for me, Mike. Just Control-S by itself gave me a thing. I have zero context, but I will throw it in here. 50655 550 556 05050. That feels to me very similar to... In Ultima 5, there is a music sequence that you have to learn and play, and just the existence of this code makes me think of that. But at the moment, no idea what that string of numbers is. But if you do Control S without Alt Z first, it's just bad command? Interesting. Alright. Keep talking to the people. We have met a dancing jester. Name. Wait, but the other guy was Jester Twin. Job? Are they just completely twinned? Identical? Health. Perfectly hoppy. They are 100% absolutely completely identical. It did say twin. So I suppose I should not be surprised. Bye, Jester. One second. Oh, sorry, I had to sneeze. It didn't really come out, but now I don't have to sneeze anymore. I held my breath for a second because I started to sneeze and I hadn't muted the microphone yet, and I didn't want to sneeze in your ears. There are clones all over the game. Okay. We're gonna talk down. Talk south. You meet a burly guard. He says, "I am a guard." Well, what's your name, guard? He says, "I am a guard." Alright. Job. I guard the castle and my liege. Okay. Health? Great! Let's ask him about the castle? Nothing. Liege? I serve Lord British. Apparently that's too long to ask about. Alright. Need a burly guard. I'm guessing he's going to say the exact same things as the last one. I am a guard. I guard the castle and my liege. Health is great. He serves Lord British. Okay. This door opens. Prison. So, these are fields behind the prison sign there. Green, blue, red, and pink? According to the manual, though, it's green, blue, red, and purple. If I remember correctly. And those are described in here somewhere, and apparently incorrectly so. Where was that? So sleep should be the pink. Lightning is the blue. Flame is the red. And poison is the green. The conversation parser responds to the first 4 letters, which can cause some confusion if you're asking about British or Britannia. Interesting. Well, we'll figure it out. Is it worth me talking to every single guard? In full conversation? Or are they just clones of each other? Nope. Nope. Reference card. There was a search. Your exact location. Hey, you. Job. Name. You're the same. You can't open the... Probably a good thing that I can't open that. They don't appear happy. Also, just... What is that? Oh, I know what that is. That was in the book. Guards in an area tend to be clones, but some places have different guards in different spots. Upper and lower floor guards are different here. In towns, often the gate guards are different from... Okay. Some guards just don't bother to talk to you at all. That thing. It is a thing that was in the thing. And it's a Reaper. There's a Reaper in there. In that cell that has no door, there's a Reaper. I love the graphical change on this game. Like, I really, really like the change in the graphics quality. Alright. Very weird that the dungeon is on the 2nd floor, but okay. Are these children? They won't talk to me. Which is good. They're not talking to strangers. Oh, they're in the kitchen! You meet a person with a white hat. Name. He says, I am le chef. Job. I am the chef. I mean, with a name like Le Chef, what choice do you have? Health. Well, all but my finger which I cut. Alright. Look. You see a person with a white hat. I just realized my notes did not have location. Floor. Just gonna add that little bit of information onto the spreadsheet. Location of where I have found the person. Let's see. Finger. Cut. I don't know what else to ask at this time, so we'll say bye. Are you gonna be the same person? Name. Job. Health. They're the same! Down to the cut finger! Apparently, searching in the kitchen does nothing for me. You meet a burly guard. I am a guard. I guard the castle and all within. That is different. I guard the castle and all within. This is first floor. You could say programming the chef clones was a shortcut. Oh dear. That's a good sneak attack. Couldn't be better. Castle. The castle is fair and strong. Do you seek Lord British? Yes. He is on the upper level in the throne room. This game is a huge improvement over the previous 3 already. These guys are all going to be the same, aren't they? Yeah, not going to talk to every guard in here. If that turns out to be a problem, I will come back and deal with it later. That's where we came in. Let's continue exploring. Pink is sleep, not poison, right? Yes. Okay, good. Welcome, Aeokon. I am Hawkwind, seer of souls. I see that which is within thee and drives thee to deeds of good or evil. Hawkwind. First floor, Lord British Castle. For what dost thou seek enlightenment? I didn't know what to ask him. Hawkwind says, fare thee well, and may thou complete the quest of the Avatar. Name. That is not a subject for enlightenment. I don't know what to ask him. Job. Help. These are not subjects for enlightenment. Look. Let's see. Juliet told us something about virtues. Apparently, I do not know the keywords. Fare thee well, and may thou complete the quest of the Avatar. I got really sleepy after talking to him. Well, we know where he's at. It's weird being able to go places in the castle. Is that a dead body? You meet an injured fighter. She says, I am Seesha. Seesha. Name. I am Seesha. Job. I fight for my country. Health. I have a grievous wound. Clearly. Look. Wound? Deep. Country? Britannia. I think I'm getting the hang of some of this. Fight for my country, have a grievous wound. Got nothing. Oh! Fight ye for Britannia? Yes? Then seek out the smith named Zircon in Minok, for he made the mystic arms. Only they will save thee in the abyss. Well, Minok. Location. Oh, Zircon is. Zircon, location, Minok. Seek out the smith named Zircon in Minok, for he made the mystic arms. Only they will save thee in the abyss. We're going to the abyss? Thank you. I want to say thank you, but that's not one of the command words. Meet a solemn ranger. Name. Sheila. Job. I search for the inner light. And your health? You're in here in the healing place. I am well. Eventually you're going to the abyss, but if it's not the last thing you're doing, something's gone terribly wrong. Okay. Let's look. You see a solemn ranger. I forgot to look at Seesha. Light? Seek inner light in the shrine. Shrines. Runes are needed to enter shrines. Alright. How about runes? Oh! Dost thou know of mantra? Oh. The mantra are chants needed to focus thy thoughts while meditating. Are chants needed to focus your thy. So many notes. The note-taking in this game seems to have taken over the game, but that's okay. So far, it's okay. Tell me about runes. Can't help with that. Can't talk about mantras. I'm just all of the nouns. Vowels. All of the nouns. I'm just asking all of the nouns. Alright, that seems like all that we're getting out of Sheila. For now. Still need to look. You'll see an inviter. Welcome unto the Royal Healer, Pendragon says. Peace and joy be with you, friend. Are you in need of help? Pendragon, the healer. No. May thy life be guarded by the powers of good. Alright. I'm glad I went in and talked to the sick person. Ooh. What? There's a secret passage! What? Water? You meet a shepherdess, both strong and beautiful. She says, I am Sean. Alright. Stop. I watch the water. That's not normally the job of a shepherd or shepherdess. Health? Well... Not sure why I'm asking everybody about their health, but okay. You see a shepherdess both strong and beautiful. You see a shepherdess both strong and beautiful. Sorry, just talking about a shepherdess is making me think of the TV miniseries 10th Kingdom and the sheep and shepherdess competition therein, which is absolutely amazing. And if you have not seen 10th Kingdom, I highly recommend it. It is a good time. Water. It brings me peace. Alrighty. Don't know what else to ask you at the moment, so that's good to know. That's good to know. Also, strange pools of water in the base of the castle. All good. Double doors. And they are locked. Probably shouldn't try jimmying them. that. Doesn't seem like it would be the expected behavior of the avatar. You meet a bouncing jester. Name. Chuckles. Uh-huh. You see a bouncing jester. Chuckles, tell me about your job. I am the royal jester. Mike, thank you for coming by. Next week should be in the afternoon again, starting at 3:30 Eastern. It'll be on my Twitter, and I'll put it in the Discord as well, which I've been forgetting to do. But yeah, we should be back to the afternoons next week. So, also wow, it's 2:15. We're only going for about 15 more minutes today. Anything to ask the jester about? Welcome unto the Castle Britannia. That's a strange response. Royal? Oh. Hast thou an ank? Yes. Then enter in peace. Don't feel like I need to write that one down. Okay. Bye. Search, 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 search. Ooh. First time we've had slowed progress by the terrain. That's good, good, good. I don't know why I'm searching. I'm just searching because search is a new thing that we can do in this game that wasn't in the previous game, and... Alright. What is that? Oh my gosh! Down to the southwest of me, there's orcs or something. We are now in the town of Britain. You meet a cheerful guard. He says, I am a guard. Tell me your name. I am a guard. They like to say I am a guard. In Britain. What's your job, guard? I am a guard, of course. Health. I am fully healed. I'm glad I don't have to worry about, like, in previous games where I absolutely had to attack the guards in order to win, and this time it doesn't feel like that's gonna be a thing. You see a cheerful guard. Town. Guard, I'm a guard, I'm a guard. Nope, I guess he didn't. Okay. I don't think the guards are actually the ones that we need to be worrying about the conversations with. I just had to talk to it. Oh, posture check. Thank you, Geekouts. Oh, we're in a new place. Also, I completely forgot that I have to worry about food in this game. So that's a thing that is a thing that we're absolutely going to need to be worrying about. But first, let's read the entry on Britain. Britain. Every high civilization must have its arts and music, and Britannia is no exception. Close by to the castle of Lord British lies the town of Britain, where dwell the most skilled bards of the land. The compassionate citizenry is most eager to help the wayfarer and will gladly talk to thee of thy quest, if thou should but ask the appropriate questions. Pay heed to the words of Pay heed to the words of Sprite, and of a certain child ye may find therein. The traveler may well find news of long-lost artifacts in the town of Britain, where the bards sing the legends of times long past. Listen well to the words of Sebastian, and seek ye the counsel of Thevil whilst in town. The visitor to Britain should take advantage of the fine weapons and armor shops found therein to prepare for travels throughout the less tame parts of our fair land. Food and spirits may also be obtained here, and there is a healer resident to tend the wounds of the brave seeker. We've been given a few names. Also, hello, Geekouts, yes. A few names of people to talk to. Yeah, I didn't think I had any read. I also don't know how I manage inventory in this game. Let's see, we entered, if we go up, there should be a shop on the left that we can enter. And it is so. First, let's talk to the guard. Name. I'm a guard. Job. I'm a guard, of course. So he says exactly the same as the ones at the gate. That's all I wanted to know. Talk. You meet a drunken fighter. Look. He turns away. Name. Ah! I didn't want new order. Talk. Name. Joe. Job. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. That's great. And a bottle of rum. Pick. Health. And a bottle of beer. Alright. Well, bottle? Oh, I guess we're done with the conversation. Joe, you need to move out of the way so I can talk to the people in here. You meet a spicy woman! Also, we are in Britain. I should be noting the location of where these conversations are happening. She says, I am Pepper. Now the game is speak attacking me. Job. What is your job, Pepper? I'm a fighting bard. Health. Healthy. Look. Be a spicy woman. Fighting. Bard. Bards know many things. Dost thou seek something? Yes. What might that be? I don't know. I can't type right now. Oh my gosh. Okay. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Want to buy or sell? No. Buy? Well then, we've got cloth, leather, and chainmail. What'll it be? I don't know. I'm sorry, sir. I don't know. Just gonna say goodbye. Currently have cloth armor, which is not bad. And we have a sling, which is not bad. Oh! Up and down! Oh my gosh! In my inventory, I have no weapons, no armor. I have 2 torches. I have 3 ginseng and 4 garlic. Mix. For spell heal. Spellbook. Garlic. Mandrake root. Waken. Alright. Where's H? E. Just want to have a health spell ready. One of the cornerstones of the good and true path of the wizard is the use of enchantment for beneficial needs. We have discussed the cure spell, which renders venom as harmless as the purest of well water. But the most common form of injury is the physical wound, rather than the internal disruption brought on by poison. Swords and talons do not discriminate, and the tools of justice are oft used for unjust purposes. When you or your companions have suffered physical injury that hath rent or seared the flesh, the heal spell is invaluable. Mix similar quantities of the healing essence of ginseng with integrating strength of spider silk and apply it to the wound. Okay, so ginseng and spider silk is heal. So is ginseng and garlic cure? Venomous creatures abound throughout the lands of Britannia. Rarely are they evil, nature having provided them with their sting as a means of defense against larger predators. But without proper attention, wounds can fester and lead to the death of a victim. Furthermore, evil mages may cast noxious poisonous energy fields during battle or erect such barriers to prevent the virtuous from reaching their caches or sanctuaries. Fortunately, the great wizard Jonth Nor devised a countering magic for the effects of all venom and recorded his findings for future generations to use. The cure spell is effected by the use of a mixture of garlic and ginseng and the calling of the victim's name to soothe the envenomed soul. The curative powers of the ginseng nullify the effects of the poison in the victim's system, while the use of garlic wards off the return of any virulent residues that may lie dormant in the blood. Yeah. So if I mix the garlic and the ginseng, B, C. You mix the reagents and it fizzles. Oh, because it was wrong. Did I lose some? I did. Alright, B and C. We'll try this again. Mix reagents for spell cure. B, C, success. Cure, B, C, success. Okay, I have enough for 2 cure spells. Magic is gonna be a thing I gotta learn. Alright, oh, apparently Winston is also the weaponry person here. Good to know, good to know. I don't think it'll ever matter, but staffs, daggers, slings, swords. I already have a sling, so nothing. Okay. What's up here? What's up in the trees? Anything? Search. Is this a beggar? You meet a poor beggar, she says, I am Sprite. That's one of the names. Ask a beggar about their job. I have no job, so now I beg. Health. I fear I shall die of starvation. Look. You see a poor beggar. You see a poor beggar. Egg? Please help me. Alright. There was a command that they mentioned I can give. Wilt thou help me? Yes. In return, I shall tell thee that Pepper knows of the rune. Pepper knows of the rune. This is good info. Yes? Pepper was the prostitute. Give. 1. Oh, thank thee. I shall never forget thy kindness. I mean, I'm not rich. But Sprite told me to talk to Pepper about the rune. Rune. The rune of compassion lies at the end of a hall somewhere in this town. I think we're going to be searching. Sweet. Okay, but I have to look and see because of... Yeah, okay. So, this is where we're going to leave this today. I will leave town and save, but that's all the time that I have for the stream today. Thank you everybody who stopped by for the start of this adventure with Ultima 4. It's very different so far than 1, 2, and 3, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I will be back next Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time to continue with Ultima 4. I'll be live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time for Mass Effect. But now we are going to raid over to Q Times for part 3 of the Streampunks Alien TTRPG session. Hannah, thank you for the 100 bits. But yeah, so this is part 3 of an Alien 3-part game using the Free League Publishing Alien Colonial Marines expansion. And so we are going to head over there now. Thank you again to everybody who stopped by, everybody who lurked, everybody who chatted. Thank you, Hannah, for the bits. And I will see you all tomorrow. So, bye.